It's the Prep Zone Holiday Special. Here's your host, Chris Egan.
Good evening and welcome to our third annual Prep Zone Holiday Special. We've picked out 6 of our favorite stories we did in 2019, looking at some special student athletes and coaches. The best girls basketball player in the state is Hailey Van Lith. Her game has drawn major national attention. Photojournalist Joseph Huerta and I found Hailey in the small town of Kashmir. As the Wenatchee River runs swiftly through Chelan County, a thin blanket of snow covers the nearby town of Kashmir. For decades, applets and cotlets have been the beacon for this agricultural community. But now, a young prospect has risen. In a town with no stoplights, it's a 17-year-old girl who is putting this community on the national stage. Hailey Van Lith,
she's an amazing girl,
is a junior at Kashmir High.
There's nothing she can't do on the basketball court.
But she's a hooper. She's cold. She's the best in the nation. She puts on a show every night.
Hailey Van Lith. She's one of the top-ranked recruits in the nation, with just about every major college coach in the country knocking on her door.
What motivates me is to just be better than I was yesterday, because when you start to taste success, you just can't get enough of it and you never want to settle.
On this night, in front of a packed house, Hailey is going after a major milestone.
I love big crowds. That's what I live to play for, is that big crowd, big game, big moments. I just feed off that.
They travel from all over to watch her. Young, old, even national media are here to catch a glimpse. Mom and Dad say Hailey has been overachieving since birth.
Hailey was a quick, easy delivery. I've always said she came out running. She was ready to go from the start.
In the 4th grade, Hailey fell in love with hoops and decided to dedicate her life to the game.
It's an everyday commitment. You can't just decide that I want to be good this day and the next day I don't want to be good. And it's just, you have to constantly remind yourself, just sacrifice, 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 because if you don't, someone else is gonna.
Basketball runs in the family for Hailey.
Really explode. Hi.
Her dad, Corey,
Had a girl.
played for the University of Puget Sound from 1994 to 97. 6 to 7 nights a week in the gym. The two work hard, doing whatever it takes to get better.
My dad has been my trainer my whole life. He's very intense with me, but I go home and my mom is the mediator there and keeps everything calm.
Oh, she didn't have to cross me up like that on TV.
If we played to like 3, I could destroy her.
Okay, who
I
plays
can lock
to
her
3?
up. I can lock her up to 3.
Nobody plays to 3.
Oh, I would beat him.
Tack. There's nights, we're down at the gym, 10:30 at night.
Nice finish.
I'm tired, she's tired, and then you're getting mad. So it's not always, hey, great job, it's life.
From the court to the classroom.
Her academics mean as much to her as her athletics.
Her passion to be great never ceases.
You would just have to multiply each dimension by 14.
She's a member of the honor roll, and this past summer, Hailey played for Team USA, helping them win a gold medal.
To win the gold, there's no words for it. I can't really explain it. You're floating. Hearing them play your national anthem in that stadium with gold medals around your neck is something that I'll never forget.
Back home in Kashmir, it's a double victory for Hailey and the Bulldogs. Kashmir wins their 6th straight league title.
1, 2, 3.
And Hailey hits a big shot.
Hailey Van Lith. We would like to take a moment to honor junior Hailey Van Lith, who scored her 2,000th points tonight. Nice job, Hailey.
I hit 2K points, but I'm not satisfied. I'm going for the record, so still got to keep going. You get exactly what you put into the game. If you work hard for it, it'll work hard for you and take you anywhere you want to go. I definitely am a big dreamer.
She wants it all and is proving with hard work anyone can shoot for the stars. Great young lady. When we first aired the story in February, all of these highly rated programs were vying for her college commitment. Hailey cut it down to Baylor and Louisville. And in November, Hailey announced she will play for Louisville in 2020. The 5'7" guard is the number 8 prospect in the country. Well, kickers, they have the loneliest job in football. They practice a majority of the time on their own. They're only in on 5 to 10 plays in a game. Sometimes they're the hero, sometimes they are the GOAT. This is the story of an up-and-coming kicker who knows about solitude as he chases his dreams. For Sumner High's Wyatt Reading, the day begins just before the dawn. 3 to 5 times a week, he jumps on his 1970s green Huffy and sets out on a journey. While his friends are still sleeping, Wyatt is cruising down Valley Avenue. He's making his way to his second home.
Definitely can be a lonely world sometimes, being a kicker.
He's probably the most dedicated, humble kid that I can remember. I mean, he's been riding his bike here for years.
Really nobody's around. It's just fun kicking by yourself, you know. The pressure's taking off in the morning.
Wyatt gets to the field just after 5 a.m. A cold wind is blowing, but Wyatt is prepared.
I used my phone flashlight for a while, and that did not work well.
So now he brightens the field with flashlights and starts kicking.
I just want to maximize the opportunity I have and just come out here, work on it, and because I don't get that many reps in a game, so might as well get reps out here.
On this morning, he takes nearly 100 kicks, even knocking down a couple from 60 yards out.
60 yards!
Sure, he's missed a few, but right now this 16-year-old sophomore is the 6th-ranked kicker in the nation for his class.
He's obviously got some talent, but when talent works like that, he's going to be a special kid.
As a freshman, Wyatt knocked in 7 field goals, including one from 49 yards. This season, he's 100% on extra points and has hit 9 field goals, which includes a career-best 51-yarder against Curtis.
I just like the pressure a lot, especially when I make it afterwards.
Wyatt has made some big field goals for the Spartans, but it's what he does on kickoffs that Coach Ross seems to love the most.
If a kicker can kick it in the end zone and make high school offenses go 80 yards, the percentages of them scoring are not very high. So it's a big weapon for a defensive school. It's a blessing, and I got him for 2 more years.
And as much as Keith Ross is in love with Wyatt's leg, the green Huffy has also caught Coach's attention.
His looks like a 70 Camaro. It's got the little gas tank on the top, you know, and he found it at a garage sale to ride to school to kick balls.
More people know about my bike than they know me, which I'm fine with. I mean, it deserves some fame getting me here.
And when the day comes to an end, it also gets Wyatt home. Wyatt is also a pretty good student. He has a 4.0 GPA and is Sumner's sophomore class president. Coming up next, a first on the Prep Zone, the story about a 16-year-old archer who's already one of the best shooters in the nation. And he was the fastest prepster in the state and a multi-talented student athlete. The kid does it all when we return. Back at the start of November, Fife's starting quarterback went down with an injury, so they brought in their backup, Brenna Nixon. Late in the second half, the junior rolled out to her right and threw a perfect over-the-shoulder touchdown pass. With that, Nixon became the first female quarterback in school history to throw a touchdown pass in a varsity game. Brenna says it's a great feeling to be someone who others are looking up to.
Yeah, it's honestly, it's like truly a blessing. Like, it's absolutely phenomenal to have this kind of opportunity, to have people look up to you in ways that you've looked up to other people. Like, I look up to Russell Wilson, an overlooked player. He's absolutely phenomenal athlete, and he fights through adversity, and he's amazing. He's having a great season so far. So like just being that person that people look up to is absolutely incredible.
Now to another impressive female. Back on Valentine's Day, we featured an archer for the first time. Erin White is not from Mount Olympus, but from Monroe. And like Cupid, she too has a great shot. But her desire is to one day compete in the Olympics. 16-year-old Erin White is one of the top archers in the country. She practices 6 days a week.
I love how it's like when I'm on the line with myself, it's kind of like me time, and it's a time to like shut everything off. Like if I'm stressed out about school or like work or like family things, I can just come out here and shoot, and it's kind of like my stress reliever.
Erin started shooting 8 years ago after she discovered something at home.
I found my grandmother's bow in our house one day, and so I asked my parents like what it was, like what is this thing?
That was very funny actually, because I said, what is this stick? Because it was the old, long bow style where it's just a wooden stick.
And my sister and I really liked it, and so we started taking lessons at Next Step Archery.
Erin's love for the sport would quickly grow.
She's awesome. I mean, her work ethic is amazing.
Lisa is not only mom, she's also a trained and certified archery coach.
Remember, lead with the bow arm?
My mom is my coach, and even though that can be a little difficult to navigate sometimes, it's really fun. I know she's always there for me. She's like the most supportive person in my life, and so I'm really happy that I have her as my coach, and as well as my mom.
Good call.
Together, the two use fun and focus to stay on target. And when the bullseye started adding up, Erin's wins did too.
These were all from 4-H Nationals in 2018. I started going to state tournaments with 4-H, and then I started going to state tournaments with all the archers in the state. And then I just kept going up and up and up, and then now I'm doing national tournaments and world competitions.
Last year, Erin hit the mark when she took first place at the U.S. National Field Archery Tournament. With the win, she landed a spot on the U.S. Recurve Junior National Team.
I was really excited, and then I realized that I'm going to a world competition, so I was like, now I need to step it up again.
She competed in Cortina, Italy, against the best in the world, and ended up taking 8th.
That was awesome. I actually got teared up. I'm getting teared up just thinking about it.
It means a lot. I'm really honored to represent the USA. And when I was in Italy, it was kind of crazy to think about wow, me, just a girl from Monroe is representing the United States. And so it was really cool.
Her goals now include competing in college, then the Olympics.
That's my dream goal. That's the end goal for me.
Well, aside from competitions, Erin also helped start a charity organization that raises money for cancer patients. And in the classroom, she has a 3.9 GPA. Dorian Simon is not faster than an arrow, but he's pretty fast. Simon is the former Lakes High superstar sprinter that's on the fast track in every phase of his life. Lake senior Dorian Simon is currently the fastest man in the state. He's the defending 3A champ in the 100-meter, 200-meter, and the 4x100 relay.
Oh, you're just tickled pink to have a kid like that, because they're once in a while. It's like, thank you, Lord, bringing him to me, and not going someplace else. Yeah, because like I said, he's determined. He really wants to be the best.
Lake's track coach Willis Freeman first met Dorian 4 years ago.
Every day that he came in, he wanted to get better. And that's the attitude you have to be best. You have to work at it. And you have to have a dream, and you have to have goals.
The work you put in is what you get out of it. If you're really working out in practice, working hard in the weight room, you're going to do well and compete in the meets.
This year, Dorian just doesn't want to win. He wants to break the state records in the 100 and 200, and he's in striking distance. But the track is not the only place where Dorian excels.
Dorian will be diving 304C, degree of difficulty 2.3.
For the past 4 years, Dorian has also competed in diving and finished third in state as a junior. He credits 5 years of gymnastics and a pretty good coach for helping him find success in the pool.
I liked it enough. I got professional help from a dive club that had an Olympic diver on it from Venezuela. I learned a lot from him.
Dorian also spent 3 years on the gridiron, and during it all, the three-sport star maintained a 4.0 GPA.
There's just a drive in me to not just be another statistic, but to make a difference in this world.
He really gets involved. He stays busy. He hardly ever just sits down and have a down moment.
So Dorian is busy as a beaver, fast as a leopard. But unlike a tiger that sleeps 18 to 20 hours a day, Dorian really never stops. 2 years ago, he spent his summer right here.
After my freshman year, a teacher introduced this program at the zoo, the Point Defiant Zoo Guides program, where you're able to kind of spend the summer at the zoo, learn a lot about marine biology, learn a lot about like ecosystems and everything.
While the zoo was cool, this past summer, Dorian was an intern at the Fred Hutch Cancer Center.
That was an amazing opportunity. I loved it. I got to do some hands-on research. I learned a lot about the research process. I got to go to several presentations.
He's also wrapping things up as the vice president of the National Honor Society. He's a lifeguard at the YMCA and a member of the Lakewood Youth Council. So how does he do it all?
Yeah, you have to turn the TV off, put the phone down, and get the homework done.
One more time?
Yeah, you have to turn the TV off, put the phone down, and get the homework done.
I don't know how he has the willpower to do that.
Do your best to find what excites you, what you're always thinking about, what would keep you up at night, what you would want to read about, the things that you're Googling. Find what you want to do in your life, figure out the means to get to that end, and then execute.
After that feature aired back in May, Simon won 3A state titles in the 100 and 200 meter dash and was part of Lakes' 4x100 title team. Dorian now competes on Stanford's track team and says he'd love to research physics. He says a dream job would be working for a space industry dealing with astronautics or an engineering company working with aeronautics. Up next, the state champ who's part of a true holiday story. Plus,
I have the dance blood in me.
Shimmy, shimmy, squawk, squawk, kick.
it's the video that went viral, 4.5 million views. Meet the cross-country team that really is footloose. Next on the Prep Zone Holiday Special. Back in May, we featured West Seattle's Chloe Cunliffe. 2 weeks later, she won her second straight 3A state pole vault title, clearing a meet record of 14 feet. Chloe was originally going to jump for Washington State, but she is now training for the Olympics. In the world of cross country, we've heard of teams having spaghetti dinners before a big race, but the team from Emerald Ridge passes on pasta to kick off their Sunday shoes.
We're going to do an easy run. Please keep it in Jag Valley, no hills. Everybody say no hills on three. 1, 2, 3. No hills. Thank you very much.
Emerald Ridge's Jay Bates has been coaching cross country for 5 years.
3, 2, 1, go. Head that way, go. There's no timeouts in cross country. You can't get to the point of saying, oh, I need to rest for a second. No, you got to push through that and persevere. Woo! What I love about cross country is you're never going to get a parent asking for more playing time.
Under Bates' leadership, the Emerald Ridge team has become a legit state contender over the past few years.
He's really energetic, always lifts us up as a coach. He always pushes us. He always brings out the best in us.
There's a high amount of stress before a race. You know, the gun's ready to go off and they're standing on the line and you don't know what's going to happen. And you get kids that are not comfortable with that and anxiety kind of can spin out of control. What we got to do is we got to figure out how to remind kids this is fun.
In the world of running, it's usually how you finish a race that matters the most. But that's not the case here at Emerald Ridge.
We get off the bus and the first thing we do is we set up our dance. Give me room, back up, line up.
Coach Bates has started up a pre-race ritual that not only draws attention from others.
They got their cell phones out recording us.
But he believes it puts his runners in a physical and mental state to go run their best.
We're getting that blood flow through the legs and it doesn't feel like you're warming up and getting ready for a race.
And so it reduces that stress for kids.
I think it's awesome because it brings the team together.
I feel like that's something that makes our team unique.
No, they're not getting ready for a school dance. This is serious stuff.
We all just got the music playing out of me, and we all just went out and started dancing to Footloose, and now it's a thing.
Doing a little air guitar, 1980s air guitar.
Before each and every race, the Jags loosen up with a line dance to Footloose. And yes, that's Coach Kevin Bacon Bates leading the charge.
I practiced my moves. I was like Napoleon Dynamite. We start when Kenny Loggins starts singing. I'm gifted, really, when it comes to dancing. I have the dance blood in me. Shimmy, 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 squawk, squawk, kick, 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 kick. Front tap, front side, back side, kick, kick, tick, turn. 1, 2, 3. It's something you feel in your heart and your soul, and whether you're good or not, it's like you own it.
And who knows, this could be a good way to end or start every newscast. Yes, I too have the dance blood in me. The Emerald Ridge girls team, by the way, finished 10th at state. Ross, who you saw in that piece, took the bronze medal at the state championships. Well, on Thanksgiving night, he signed Catholic defensive lineman Big Peter. He lost his mom. Less than 2 weeks later in the 3A state title game, Peter came through big time. The Crusaders sophomore scored the clincher on a pick six.
When she passed away, I was all down. And then I got my brothers right behind me. That's why I come back every day just to work hard for her. This is a blessing. This is a blessing from her.
Our team rallied around him, and for him to catch that ball, I think he knew his mom was with him, and so it was a special thing for him.
Sticking with the Crusaders, we end tonight with a story that reminds us during this holiday season that sometimes a simple friendship can provide someone a sense of belonging, a sense of home, even if you don't have one.
There's a lot of excitement, there's nerves, there's anticipation.
It's the state semifinals.
This is it, right? Like, this could be it. This could be your last final game.
Senior wide receiver G. Scott Jr. is looking for his second straight title. He's been blessed on the field, but it's the unexpected blessing off the field, he says, will have a greater impact on his life.
JT! Let's go!
Sitting in the stands is Jerry, a big Ohio State backer and G. Scott Jr.'s newest fan.
G. Scott Sr. and G. Scott Jr., they mean the world to me. Come on down, defense!
The lifelong Buckeyes fan started coming to watch G's games when he heard the four-star recruit committed to Ohio State.
Wow, they were missing one of their top receivers, which is your son.
But making it to those games isn't always so simple. And when G. Scott Sr. first heard about Jerry, he knew his family needed to do something.
This is just about compassion. I think this is just about spreading friendship and love. Headed to pick up my main man, Jerry. Pull up right here.
For the past few weeks, Sr. has started his game day routine by picking Jerry up.
Oh! Yeah!
At his home.
East Side Catholic!
In a homeless camp.
Hey, Jerry, what's up, buddy?
Jerry lives in Tent City 4, just off of I-90 east of Issaquah.
Man, I got a bunch of homemade sweet potato pie.
The sweet potato pies are a big hit.
Look, somebody else got you another package too, man.
But it's an Ohio State t-shirt that brings a tear.
Thank you.
This has been Jerry's home for nearly 4 years. He's homeless and doing the best he can to make ends meet.
Maybe some Burger King?
Burger King?
I know where Burger King is, brother.
Despite tough times, Jerry found odd jobs to pay for bus rides and tickets to games. When Sr. heard that, he felt compelled to help.
And I would love to tell you that that I'm just doing this for him. And the truth of the matter is, I'm actually just doing it for our family because we feel good because of it.
Before each game, Jerry makes his way to the field to get a special pregame hug.
How you doing? Doing good?
From his favorite player.
We're gonna win this thing, man.
It just takes my breath away.
Let's go. Let's go.
And it means a lot to me.
Tucked away in the heart of the parents section, Jerry beams with pride. He's found a new family.
At some point in life, we all need help. No matter what, everybody deserves compassion.
I can't scream no more.
But Jerry is not the only one getting something in return.
What he's taught us is no matter what type of adversity, no matter what type of things that you're going through, you can still smile up through everything. My man.
The wins are nice, but it's moments like this G. Scott Jr. says he'll never forget.
It's a really humbling thing to be able to see, like when he comes up to me, man, and he has tears in his eyes. That truly, for me to be able to impact someone else's life like that, that means more than anything.
It's a bond beyond football.
I mean, this football thing is only going to last me so long, but being a person outside of the field, man, that's going to last for me for the rest of my life, and I couldn't be more thankful for him.
Through compassion comes a blessing that goes by the name of Jerry. And Jerry had a pretty good birthday weekend. He turned 55 2 days after G and the Crusaders beat O'Day for the 3A state title. And that will do it for this year's show. A special thanks to photojournalists Alan Reed, Joseph Huerta, Tate Miller, Mike Perry, and executive sports producer Tony White. I'm Chris Egan. We'll be back in 2020 with a look at more special student athletes. Happy holidays, everybody, and have a happy new year.